What's going on, guys, gals, aliens, and degen freaks? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple and effective and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So we got a lot to cover, guys. We got Coinbase rugging people on the Basechain. We got Trump saying that it's Jerome Powell's time is up. And we have escalating trade war, but in the right direction. It's escalating, but in our favor. So for the United States, we have escalated trade for our favor. That's what I've been realizing, is that even though we've had this volatility and we were just waiting on any kind of post from Trump on Truth Social, that we're actually moving in the right direction, guys. Because if other countries and other federal or central institutions that are printing money are cutting their rates, and they've been cutting the rates and signaling for a rate cut, and the United States and the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell have been too late for cutting rates, they've caused a lot of damage. And so they won't admit this because Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, they're very capricious and nose up. They don't think they've made any bad decisions. They think they've been doing just fine. But we think they've done a pretty crap job, and so has the Trump administration. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into how you guys need to be hitting the like button more. We're also going to get into that. We're going to get into how the only way that these channels like mine are going to actually survive is by you hitting the like button. I don't even charge for anything. Everything's free. I don't have a paid group. I don't have a Patreon. I have nothing. All I got is my dumb head, my voice, and a little bit of alpha for you. And I don't charge anything for it, but all I ask is for you to hit the like button. That's it. That's all I ask. Hit the damn like button. It's very simple, and it's free. Did I mention it's free? All right, guys, share the live stream. I know this is kind of random, impromptu, 12:30. Normally I stream at 11 o'clock, but you know what? It is what it is. I wanted to spend some time with my family. I wanted to spend some time with my daughter, and we had a lot of fun. We went to a local park, and or say a local zoo, I should say, and it was a lot of fun. I wanted to make sure I'm getting some really good time. My wife has always reminded me, it's a great reminder to kind of, step away and soak in the moments that sometimes you realize, like, wow, they just, your kid's growing, time's passing you by, things are flying. So you can't get caught up too much in the, in the price action, I guess you could say. But welcome, guys. We actually had on the daily here a little bit of volatility. We opened up kind of bearish. It was looking a little bearish. We dropped below 83,000. You can see here 83,001 market open was a little funky. It was a little funky. So let's actually go to the 4 hour. The market open was a little choppy. You can see here on the 17th, right here on that open candle, had a bit of a wiki sauce. There was some uncertainty. There's all these, posts coming. Trump is just posting like a madman. People are like, what is going on? And he's saying that, look, China's is being pushed into a corner, but they are going to back down and they're willing to make a deal. And so with that, other countries have already made the deal. There's speculation of almost every single country besides China has come to the table to make some type of trade deal or reorient an already existing trade deal and renegotiating. So it's either new deals are being made, renegotiations of old deals, and then also what we're going to be figuring out with China. We got the tariffs on the cars, we got the chips, we got the, basically tech across the board. It is up for discussion. And so it also NVIDIA, the NVIDIA stock has been very volatile recently because of the nature of what NVIDIA, their market is heavily influenced by the Chinese market, and also probably how their production is with their chips, how they produce into the U.S. from China because of the chips. Let's see, like new U.S. export rules for the H20 chips to China. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So we'll see how that all plays out. And then we have with the cars, this is going to be interesting with if we're going to see any kind of increase in prices with even like say the used car market, because when we've seen that when we have volatility in the auto industry, even the used car market goes up, and also prices for new cars go up if it has to do with anything with these Chinese imports. Okay, so let's also get into some of let's get into the rug pull here. Let's get into the rug pull of Base. So yesterday, I was spending time with family. I wasn't really looking at my phone. I wasn't checking stuff, and Jesse Pollock, the basically like the Basechain dev, is kind of the loudest. He's the loudest one out of the Base community on trying to onboard people and making content saying, we need the whole world on chain and blah blah blah. And so he created this coin that is called Basis for Everyone on the Basechain. The Basechain and Coinbase reposted his post and signaling that, like, hey, everyone that's, an ETH person or a Base chain person, or you're bullish on Base and you want to be on, get the world on chain too, they probably bought a bag or two. They probably bought some. And so this thing flew up in the first hour to $20 million, and then it crashed to zero in minutes, which means there was no liquidity. There was no liquidity locked. There was just enough to be able to pump the price up to that fake valuation, which is like, so look, this candle looks just like the Ohm candle. If you look at this and then you look at the Ohm candle, that's what a rug pull looks like with no liquidity. There was no liquidity. And so this whole thing that Jesse is promoting with, like, oh yeah, just you should support everyone's token. The tokens need liquidity to support them. If there's no liquidity, the moment things go south and the moment that these things get manipulated, sniped, whatever, it's done. It's toast. And it can still happen. I mean, look at the Trump token. Look at the Trump token. It's called fake. It's called that. Like, that's even a big example of fake market cap with the amount of supply that's of the tokens. And see, look at the same thing happen with the Trump token. The Trump token's liquidity was high, but it wasn't locked, and it was also up to a certain amount to where big players who had unlocks were able to sell at the highest valuation, which is here at like 64. They were probably told as they early invested that we're going to pump it to 64. It's going to get your closeout price will be between here to here. Then they did it a second time where they were like, okay, if you missed it on that one, you're going to have a second time to sell at 24. If you bought at, say, a $7 million market cap or a $700 million market cap, because that was where it ended up, or where it launched. I guess it was around. And not to mention, JB has mentioned a good point. We mentioned this yesterday. Today, they're unlocking $320 million worth of Trump tokens. And look at the liquidity. That's literally the exact same amount as the liquidity. So what if all these unlocks they decide to sell? The token could drop literally half in price, probably. It could probably drop to like $4. So I would stay clear away from the Trump token for a little bit, because you have no idea what these guys are going to do. They could easily dump on your head, just like, and guess what happened with Ohm? Right when Ohm was let me go to AI's XBT's breakdown of Ohm, because it's actually the best clear explanation of what happened. It's today. It's happening today. The Trump unlocks are happening today. So if you didn't know, that they're unlocking $320 million, 40 million tokens. And this is like the first. This is either the first or the second unlocking. So there's more unlocks to come. And so what happened with here? Here's the Trump team pulled. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Where is it at? Mantra mechanics. Here we go. This was interesting. So look, supply dynamics, there's 43.6 million tokens moved by 17 wallets prior to the crash, which means they knew. 227 million tokens transferred to exchanges pre-collapse. That's even more substantial. Circulating supply was actually only 3 to 5% versus what was actually stated 53%. So there was only 3 to 5% of the supply in circulation. That's freaking crazy. Because if you go to a meme coin like Pepe, all of the supply is out circulating. Circulating supply, max supply 420, total supply 420. There you go. The whole it's free. Now that it's an open chart. It's an open chart. Of course there's whales, but there's no unlocks, there's no and it's the same, and it's kind of, you say the same. I don't know if it's the same with Doge, but let's see with Doge. Yeah, Doge, there is no max supply, so I think it's infinite, but yeah, that's not the case with Doge. Doge is a different story. But you can mine Doge, but there is no, I don't think there's actually a cap supply of Dogecoin. But Pepe is a perfect example. 420, baby. 420 on 420 on 420. That's triple 420. That's the 420 Trinity. If you've never heard of it before. 420 Trinity, baby. But yeah, so this is why I have been hearing, and I've just started to think about it, that if you want to buy the most bullish, solid tokenomic tokens in the entire space, you buy Pepe and Bitcoin. And any token that has a deflationary kind of mechanism or has just all the supplies out and it's an open chart, that's your best chance. That's your best chance, because you have no chance against this or this. Yeah, Doge is inflationary, but ETH has tried to move towards a more deflationary model, because whenever every transaction tries to burn ETH. So there are some different types of tokenomics that still, I'm not an expert on it. Fartcoin, we'll have to see. Yeah, Fartcoin, let's see about Fartcoin. Because Fartcoin has been super strong. I mean, basically now the whales are picking Fartcoin. I mean, the chart just speaks for itself. There's 1 billion Fartcoin total supply, max supply 1 billion, fully diluted value. Let's see, circulating supply. So there is still 1 million tokens somewhere. But that might be I don't know. We'll have to, I don't know. Let's see. So pretty much almost all the tokens, and maybe those other tokens are the ones that are actually locked up. Or we just go to Solana. But thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for chatting. I really appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, let's check out Fartcoins. And it's at the top. This is what's crazy, is that this thing really just started to push. It really started to push, and the more you push, if you push too hard, you will end up farting. Yeah, there's got to be more jokes. Help me. My girl's coming and she's like, "Can I buy this?" I'm like, No. That's so funny. Excuse me. Oh yeah, there's look at this. Look at the difference. There's actually 20 million in liquidity locked. And there's 81% of the liquidity is burned and locked. They didn't even do that for the Trump token. They didn't even do that for the Trump token. Oh, because of Easter? Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of an obvious one. Yeah, so Jesus, you got the Jesus token. What is the highest liquidity? Is this it? Market cap. This is on ETH. See, interesting that the Jesus token really had some traction in the end of 2023. Like, it really had a nice pump. Tried to retest back into these levels by the end of October, and this was kind of, we had a lot of the memes were pumping. We had the market was Trump pumping. It was the Trump pump. But then a lot of stuff has really taken a hit, so. But can it pump again? Can it pump again? I mean, possibly, yeah. Maybe it wants to reclaim these two levels that it tried. 1, 2. You can see a double top. So, yo, what's going on, everyone? What's going on? No spoon. There is no spoon. So, only realize the truth. What truth? There is no spoon. Trying to stay hydrated. We got to drink a lot of water. Okay, so let's keep going down this dynamic here of the OHM token. So we can stay far away from any token that looks shiny and looks like it's like cranking up, and we don't get fooled, because we got to look at we don't want to get fooled. Yes, we could trade it, because I was trading it. I traded the OHM token. I think if you guys have watched this channel long enough, I mean, last year I was like, whoa, what is going on with this OHM token? I mean, there was a lot of charters that were charting this thing because it was just breaking out of bull flags all over the place. So if you were able to catch some of those trades and actually get into this thing where you're breaking out, it's like, you can take advantage of it. But at the same time, if you're a person that was like, oh, I'm going to actually like buy this spot and actually hold it in my portfolio, you just got wrecked. You just got fully wrecked. So it's a shame, because we could easily get fooled by this, but you go to the market caps of these things and you can say, okay, what's going to happen? So we have to really do our due diligence and see how these market caps kind of line up with the supply of the token, and like if there's going to be unlocks. So it's almost kind of like we should have a checklist, and we should make a video on this. We'll make a video on it where we make a checklist of like, okay, like what's the metrics? Like, where at a point are you going to make a actual educated decision on buying something? And you're not just buying something because you see the price going up, or you see that other people are buying it, or crypto Twitter's telling you it's the one. Same with Fartcoin. I mean, like, I just because Fartcoin's going up doesn't mean you just start buying it. You do your research. Like, you go into it. Even just as far as what we did is even taking a good first step is like, okay, let's look at the token. Let's look at the market cap. Let's look at the supply. Let's look at the liquidity. Okay, it's locked. They did burn it. And you can see there's like a pretty decent amount of holders. There's a lot of liquidity providers, because I'd imagine a lot of these wallets are exchange wallets that are then now providing liquidity for trading on for across centralized exchanges. You can see kind of like good price action, good redistribution whenever profit taking has been taking place and it never crashed the chart. That's also good fundamentals. Like whenever there's negativity or FUD or anything in the market, we're like, so off this news of tariffs and Trump posts and retaliations, look, there's no giant red candles. So, and this is on the 4 hour. Go to the daily, you know, it's nothing crazy, nothing too scammy. You don't see any crazy wicks. I mean, but you see that top wick right there. It's pretty, you know, but that was right at the end of that was at the peak of the market. So if you think about it, this coin represented a true price action of how all memes and how the entire market was acting. Because look, here's the peak of the market. My portfolio at this exact time was at its peak, full peak of where my spot portfolio was. And this is and how we're doing this kind of cup and handle redistribution. And now possibly could be breaking it back up. Which at that point was a $2 billion, almost $3 billion market cap. Which in terms of the supply and the tokenomics was actually not too off. Way more fundamental and better tokenomics than these freaking VC-backed scam coins that they put in front of our face and we get scammed by. So you tell me how memes don't have utility and are not fundamentally sound than these freaking scams like we just got scammed by like Luna. Craziness. And they want to convince you that there's not going to be a meme super cycle. I think Morad's still right. It's just a gestation period. It's just a bit of a gestation period, that's all. But yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. You're smashing the like button. I appreciate it. And let me know if you agree. I mean, really, honestly, it's facts, because it's like, it really is. That is what the Morad thesis is. That's what he was talking about. He was like, look, these token unlocks, you have no idea when they're going to literally, well, you kind of have an idea right on the unlock. So whenever Binance, I have a perfect tweet that shows you what they do when they list Binance perpetuals. I'll show you. Binance perpetuals. This is how they scam us. And this is when they did it with the AI coins. When we had the AI narratives coming in, we had like Griffin was one of them. Binance or insider wallets always are going to dump on you. They did it with Peanut at 93% off its listing. Griffin, they did it 80% off its listing. That ACT token, they did it 80% off its listing. Swarms, remember Swarms? 93%. The AI 16Z, that was like going crazy. Right when they listed it, Binance Perps, they pumped it up and then they scam you. So it's pretty wild. So we have some things that we can always watch. Hey, Binance lists it and they're gonna perp it. Just know they're gonna dump it on your head at a point. They'll give you a chance to get in along, but you have to be like CryptoFace said, you have to be like a roach. You got to go out of the fridge, out from under the fridge, scatter, get a crumb, run back in, and in and out. You're getting crumbs. That's what Binance is doing, but on a big scale of millions and millions of dollars. They're going in and getting there and just extracting as fast as they can. And this is exactly what Base did. And it's crazy that Coinbase and Binance, they're honestly, I kind of agree with Gary Gensler in a way that these exchanges are actually hurting investors. You kind of sometimes have to look at things in a broader perspective, because they will always pin something or make someone be the enemy, like Gary Gensler. But that dude probably knows a lot more than we lead him on to think, and we think he's stupid. Dude ain't stupid. He was teaching at MIT and knew about Bitcoin and blockchain way before your butt did, and he also was trying to work for Binance, and he was trying to figure it out. So maybe he was like, no, something's going on. Maybe they were like, wait, they probably suspected that Gary was gonna figure out their little offshore dealings that they do to freaking scam and manipulate the markets and price. Ever think about that? So it's really interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Coinbase, rugging people. It's not a surprise. And by the way, like, if Coinbase wants to bring the world on chain, why don't you make your application actually like work? Your Coinbase's app is the worst app in history. It is the worst crypto app and trading platform in the entire industry. I would say that to Brian Armstrong's face and tell him, I can't believe that the amount of fees that you charge your customers, you haven't been able to build a better platform. What are you guys doing? You're too busy with your heads up your butts, thinking that you're the crypto saviors and you're like the champions of crypto for your legislative work. Oh, your legislative work. No, that doesn't matter. Make your products work better. Why do you think Apple dominated the market? They made their products usable for retail. So retail got programmed to buy a new phone every year, even though the phone does the same thing. It's genius. It's because they made a better product. So what are we talking about? What are we doing here? And then they're posting an illiquid meme coin by Jesse, who does a terrible job at onboarding people, walking the streets, giving people $50. Oh, here's $50 for you to go on chain. Like, they're like, no, bro, get away from me. I'm not a prostitute. Are you trying to pay me to get on chain? The hell are you doing? Anyone that is trying to give you money to go and do something, run fast. It's a scam. It's a freaking scam. If anyone's trying to pay you money to use their platform, run. That's so crazy. Look at this. What are they doing? Why? It's so ridiculous. It's just crazy. I don't know what they were expecting to come out of that. I really don't. Like, what were they expecting to get out of that? I don't trust this thing for a dang second. I don't care if Coinbase lists it. They're idiots. They haven't even listed Brett yet, but they've listed like Keyboard Cat. Here's how dumb Coinbase is. They listed Keyboard Cat, but they didn't list Brett. You know this, right? They listed Keyboard Cat, but they didn't list Brett. That was playing on one of the biggest narratives that was at the time for the Boys Club and the Pepe and all that stuff. And actually, Brett has sponsored like buku money events, like high dollar events. I don't know. I sometimes wonder, guys, that we probably could run these companies and these businesses better than these people, because they really make some crazy decisions. I'm like, who are the interns? Who are the people that are running these companies? Because they suck. They really do. They're terrible at their jobs. And I tell them to their face, like, the people that are on us, we actually probably could run crypto better. We probably could run these businesses better. But instead, we're like at slaves to these bald heads. We're a slave to Brian Armstrong's bald head. I want to overthrow all of these people because they're terrible. Maybe that's why I've like, when I got into crypto and then I've seen like how crypto is, and I'm like, geez, you guys probably could do a little better. Probably do a little better. How the hell are we going to get people to want to use crypto if we can't even get along with we can't even get along. We're so tribalism. We can't even agree on a few coins. I can't even convince people to even try and be more bullish Bitcoin. You're more than half the people that are watching crypto content are like 90% or like 95% alts and gambling on pump fund tokens. That's like more than half of crypto Twitter. They don't even own Bitcoin. And we've been talking about it for freaking years. Getting ear beaten for years. You still don't even own Bitcoin. Your portfolio is actually supposed to be 65, 70% Bitcoin, and the rest is supposed to be altcoins. But it's the opposite. People have 80% alts and 10, 15% Bitcoin. Or zero Bitcoin. Anyway, let's get into the charts. Let's look at that Ohm candle again. Let me just remind you that like $6 billion doesn't mean anything. And if there's look at that. Wow. It's toast. Get away, run away fast. Don't go near this. Don't go near it. What is a good platform? Of what? Trading platform, crypto platform. Honestly, I think a really good one is OURBIT. I think I've been saying this for a while now, but honestly, OURBIT is doing a really great job. Their interface works really well. Their interface works really well. The transactions, like when of approving transactions, are very fast. They have a lot of network support. They're very bullish memes, but they do have all of your classic fundamental projects. They have a DEX now, so that's really cool. You literally can just click on DEX, and on your mobile, you can just go into DEX trading and just trade on chain with ETH, Binance, Smart Chain, and Sol. So it's super cool and very convenient, easy. So platform-wise, OURBIT already has Coinbase beat out of the water, and they're a newer platform. So, but then also for bigger platforms, like actual, like, you know, big centralized exchanges worldwide, Crypto.com has been doing a really good job. They actually, if you think about it in terms of exchanges, they've been the one that has been able to survive a lot of the carnage of the 2022 crash of FTX. Anytime there's been super bearish like Bitcoin news or crashes, they've been the only platform that has been able to stay afloat and not shut down. So that's why I've been I've always had crypto.com and the Crow token in the back of my brain, and to always kind of think, okay, look, they've been super consistent. They haven't been insolvent or anything like that, or haven't done anything super shady. They've never had any, they did have a Wells notice served to them from the SEC, but I think that was like across, everyone was getting served Wells notice. Gemini, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Kraken, Everyone was getting served. So that was like nothing new. But they are heavily involved in sports betting now. You can sports bet on their app. You can do stocks. You can do strike options. You can hold NFTs. You can do everything on this app. This is a retail app, and it actually works fairly well. There's some bugs. I'm not going to say it's perfect because there's some bugs. There's some stuff that they could fix because sometimes like the updating of the prices is kind of off. And I feel like the Bitcoin price is very offered much at a premium at crypto.com. Like when I look at the trading view chart on like, say, the USD or USD price on like, say, Bitstamp or something, it's like a couple $100. It's like a couple $100 off. Oh yes, they did. There was something that did come out in the Crow token. I remember. You reminded me something about they did do some kind of supply increase. Was it a supply increase? Yeah, let's look that up. Okay. Crow token. Max supply is 100 billion Crow tokens. It's a lot. Total supply that is out right now, 97.5 billion. The circulating supply right now is 26. That means about 30% of the supply right now is circulating and the rest is not circulating. But I wonder where it's sitting. Because even though we are bullish Crow and we are bullish crypto.com, we still have to do our due diligence. Yeah, let's see. Well, all right, let's see what Grok says. Okay, we'll go to Grok. The total supply of Chronos did not increase by 70%. However, there was a controversial governance proposal that happened in March to reissue 70 billion Crow tokens that were burned in 2021. Oh, so they burned 70 billion tokens, but then they wanted to reissue some back into the supply, which would have increased the total supply from 30 billion to 100 billion over a 10-year vesting period. This proposal aimed to create a Chronos strategic reserve, but faced significant community backlash, with early voting showing 87% of the opposition. Despite this, the proposal passed due to the last-minute votes from large token holders. Oh, dang. So 87% was like, yo, no. And then as reported on March 18th, so the reissue tokens are to be vested monthly over 10 years. So they did do it, meaning the circulating supply is increasing gradually, not by an immediate 70% as of April 17th. Circulating supply was reported at 28.7 billion Crow from 27 billion earlier, reflecting the initial vesting phase. This gradual increase is part of the approved plan, but claims of a sudden 70% supply jump are inaccurate. Okay, so always verify such claims with primary sources. Community sentiment on platforms like us can exaggerate or misrepresent events. Okay, so it's a very gradual unlocking period, and as long as they're not selling these damn tokens and dumping them, or they're actually adding them into some kind of reserve or something, then that is a good thing. But also, this can be this you know, it could be a little. It's you could say that's kind of, you know, a little bearish. Yeah, so the big holders of the Crow token probably came in and they were like, yeah, we want to blah, blah, blah. But see why would they do that? Why would they do that? That just seems like I don't know. There's got to be a reason. So, you know, let's see. What would be the reasoning for such an increase? The reasoning behind the Kronos governance proposal to reissue 70 billion previously burned tokens effectively to increase the total supply from 30 billion to 100 billion over a 10-year vesting period was outlined in the Kronos Strategic Reserve. And so the ecosystem growth and development. The reissue tokens are intended to fund initiatives that enhance the Kronos ecosystem, such as supporting new projects, partnerships, and infrastructure development. The Strategic Reserve aims to provide resources for long-term scalability and competitiveness in the blockchain space. Oh, and Dave Digital saying it was a deal tied to Trump. Yeah, no, it probably could have been, because we were pointing out the fact that Crypto.com was meeting with Trump prior to his, full-on inaugurated presidency, that they had probably been talking for a little bit. All right, so XN's coming in saying, what's going on, boys? Let's party. D86 says, let's party, girls. Who do we have in here? You guys are awesome. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for coming in. I didn't know who was going to end up coming in here today. We started a little late. We wanted to spend some time with our daughter. We were running around, having some fun. But yeah, we're looking fairly bullish. So let's get back into the Bitcoin chart here. We watched a really great, this video just like spoke to us so much last night, and it was an hour-long video, and we stuck with it through the whole video, because it really just like this trader's journey, it sounded so similar to ours, like how he was like, look, I've done all these things, and I've been able to dial in an edge. It doesn't mean like I'm a genius or anything like that, but he's just like, I've just been able to dial in this edge and use the, these things that I've learned in the mistakes and the lessons to then really apply this and just be much more consistent. And then you can really kind of figure out the trading game, and you really don't need a bunch of crazy indicators. You don't need a bunch of, mumbo jumbo. You just need to figure and learn price action. And also time frames is all subject to you. Like, what time frame actually works for you. It's like, there's no key time frame. It's just like, what strategy are you even trading on? Like, are you trading price action and eyeing where we're hitting resistance, where we're hitting support? Like, for instance, right now on the 1 minute chart, we just hit 2 different resistance points and now are going bearish. And now the next possible point that on even the 1 minute chart that we could break down here, according to the Bollinger Band, which is literally just using 2 indicators of possible price reversal, is that on the 1 minute chart, we can see that we hit 2 resistance points, and now we could be going down into the next key area of support. So just in those micro transactions or micro trades, you could... But this could be invalidated. That doesn't mean just because I just saw that and that and that, okay, now that's it. You still have to make sure that you are not thinking you're 100% right. That's what the stop loss is for. The stop loss is to make sure that you're not telling the market that you are 100% right and you will not be wrong, because you're probably wrong. There's probably more of a percentage that you are wrong. It's probability. So that's why you have the stop loss in. But on the chance that you actually are right and the price does move in your favor in that direction, then you can then take your stop loss and keep adjusting it as what the price is going to do. So then, if that was the case, price is going down, and say you shorted here, you're going to set your stop loss as this 1 minute candle is going down, as it's going down, and then now you've been validated. Your trade has been validated going down to exactly what I was just saying. You could say, I'm going to move my stop loss. I'm going to keep moving my stop loss, because look, this is actually happening right as I'm freaking saying it. It's happening right as I'm saying it. So then you can just keep moving that stop loss down, 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 in profit too, because now You have your take profit set at these support levels where we just had price be supported in 2 different candle structures. You can mark it right here. So you have so what I just showed you is how you can, even just on the 1 minute time frame, scalp, protect yourself, and make sure that you have a clear area and how much you're willing to lose, and know that when it hits, and that's what you're going to lose if your trade's invalidated. But then you know exactly what you're going to make when you take the profit. It's not a surprise. And when you move your stop loss and you want to move it at break even, now you know you're not going to lose anything. You're not going to lose anything. I just showed you the easiest trading strategy in the entire world. All you got to do is follow it. Once you don't follow it, you learn you learn it works. Because when you don't follow it is when you just showed yourself, shit. Okay, I stopped doing this strategy and I lost money. I didn't set a stop loss. I didn't analyze the chart like I just did. My emotions were off. And that's how you lose. That's the difference between consistent winning traders and losing traders. That simple rule. All right, put a 1 in the chat if that helped you. Put some emojis in the chat if you feel like that helped your strategy, or if that is something that you can now apply to the chart. I'll be right back, guys. I have to get some water. I'm like so thirsty. I'm going to leave Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart just to make you guys stressed out. This is creatine. This is what I want Vitalik Buterin to start drinking. I don't think Vitalik has had any creatine in his entire life. Look at this scammy crap. Gosh. I'm about to just like boycott anything that has to do with Coinbase. What do you guys think Vitalik Buterin needs to do to earn the respect of President Trump? I think if you asked Trump what he thought about Vitalik, he'd be like, you gotta put a suit on, at least. You gotta put a suit on. Go to a UFC match. If Vitalik just drank some protein and creatine, put a suit on, shook Trump's hand and had a dinner with him, went to the UFC fight, and I'm telling you guys, overnight, ETH would pump to 10K. Overnight, ETH would pump to 10K. All right, Garindo wants me to look at XRP. Yeah, I'll check out XRP. Is XRP's looking pretty bullish. If it is actually going to, because we were charting XRP and we were thinking, because it is trading above its 200-day moving average, which is a good sign. The only reason though that it is like trading on a above its 200-day moving average is because it was sitting here for like forever. Okay, so it established a 200-day moving average at this point, you know, because it was like down here for freaking forever. It was just getting beat down. And so now that it had broke out of a bull flag here, you can see the bull flag breakout. Pretty good textbook breakout. And then now you can kind of see the redistribution. You know, it's distributing right now. It's distributing profits. I'm sure like this is where big XRP whales were like, there's no way that they were going to resist, like, or, you know, try and resist taking profits at these points, like right here. Then it redistributed, and then it pumped right here. You know, some sell off. But this is also following the volatility of the market too, with Bitcoin, you know, with the sell-offs. And so I think it is, if you want to have a bullish case for XRP right now on the daily, if you're looking at, say, the market cipher, you know, kind of trigger here, we have a good you know, curvature on that momentum clip. But see, that's on the daily. But when you're looking at the weekly, it's like, it's hard to tell. It could go both ways because look, look at the wave. It's going down. So it either could reverse here and start to go like this, and then it gets another chance, and then that's it, pumping up to 340 again. So it's like if it can clip right here, because look at the money flow. So that happened right here, but look at the difference of the wave. So on the weekly, it's hard to tell. You look on the daily, it's like, it's just, you don't know. It could have a little bit more to the downside. It could potentially have a little bit more to the downside because we're in a descending wedge. How low can the descending wedge go? If you're looking at these levels right now, I see per price action $1.35, between $1.35 and $1.80, you know, $2. Like, this is a range that they could potentially bring this coin back into. So I just want to put that on the table here. And that doesn't mean that once it does that, I mean, it's over. I mean, I think that's possibly where the bounce point could be right there, and then it goes. So I'm giving you both cases, bearish bull case. The bull case is that it bounces off of here because you can see established support off of these levels. Wick bounces. You can see a wick bounce here. You can see a little wick bounce here as well on that breakdown, but here it bounced here. So we'll see. That's kind of my analysis on XRP. It's like, you know, we're either going to $1.40 first before breaking to new all-time highs, or we chill here and kind of chop a little bit and then we go. But this is dependent also on the bullishness of just the entire market. You know, like we have to think that, okay, that'll probably happen on the more bullish side when if Bitcoin is going to hold this level and get up into the 200-day moving average. And once we hold the 200-day moving average and we're at $87,000, $88,000 and we're crushing back up into the 90K region, then yeah, then I'll probably go and bet more on the side, and maybe even in a trade, that XRP will crush up into these recent tests of resistance, which was at $2.60. So there you go. How's that for your TA? But this is all just price action. It's pretty much just based on previous price action. Nothing too crazy. Kind of seeing how the momentum and the clips here on the cipher look, matching with the 200 days, and see how the really it's just you want to see how the price structure looked along with how these momentum waves look. So if we can get the similar momentum wave that brought us to the upside to begin with, you know, can it be matched and have that similar crank to the upside? That's kind of what we're looking for. And you can use the same kind of strategy, you know, on any of these coins. Go to the daily, go to the weekly. You can kind of see whenever we've had some pretty decent clips here on momentum, get pretty decent price action. Look at the weekly. Weekly, you can see it's really curving. Like, look at this. Like, you know, it's like it could be that we just start to, I mean, you can see when it has a little curve right below, you can see when that happened. That was like right there on the bottom. We were on the bottom of this cup and handle. What? No, Dave, jeez, that's not good. Active shooter near student union at Florida State University. Oh, geez. According to local reports, at least 4 people have been taken to Towson Memorial with injuries. Oh, Lord. Okay, yeah. At least 4 people were injured. Gunmen opened fire at Florida State. Students were seen running from the student union around midday. Oh, God. Yeah. Jeez. Well, pray for those people. It's terrible. That is terrible. All right, you guys. Anything else we need to cover? Just to let you know, if you want to... Oh, this is what I needed to do. I needed to get this link, that link. If you want to buy some coffee, just get on that link right there. Check it out. These ordinal eyes will be ready for resale pretty soon. Check those out. And all right, yeah, I think we're done here. thank you guys for coming in. Hit the like button on the way out. We really appreciate you. And just check all the links in the description. It's the best way to directly support the channel. And I'll just show you guys the links real quick. We got fat, juicy bonuses and things that you can get for signing up. And we'll show you. We have OURBIT, BLOFIN. BLOFIN, you get really good rewards as well. Check that out. PHEMEX, tons of trading options, but these are my 3 favorite exchanges to trade on. We even got the crypto.com and the old funky Coinbase thing too. So check those out. Check out the websites, and we will see you guys on the next live stream. All right. Peace out.